Hey guys, so in this video, I wanna make something very, very casual for all of you, but I think it's something that is very, very relevant also for those who want to come in and approach 2021 in terms of investing and trading and starting businesses. Because over the past videos, I don't know if you've noticed it, when I started interviewing a lot of these entrepreneurs, business people, executives from these listed companies, I've been asking them one prevailing theme: are you aggressive in your approach for 2021, or are you conservative in your approach in handling your finances, your money, and your businesses? And I felt that it was such a relevant question that I believe I myself should also answer, so that you get bits and pieces also of how I'm approaching my investing for the year. And please do note this: what fits me may not fit you, what fits you also may not fit me. So I'm just sharing this from a perspective of how I do my finances. I'm just sharing this also from what I've been doing through the years and how I've tweaked it also a bit. Now, here's the thing. Please remember, my age is, I'm 37 years old. 37 is relatively young. So for those who have been watching my videos for quite some time, I said that I started investing in my early 20s. And I remembered before, no, pag nag-invest ka in your early 20s, people would say that that's generally young. But if you notice it from today's narrative, 2021, there are a lot of people who have been investing even younger than me already, which is nice, no? And which is why I enjoy making videos like this, because I really want to influence not just our generation, but the generation that's younger than us and the generation also that's older than us. That's why I'll never stop making videos like this. So when I was younger, I would be super aggressive, meaning putting it in investments that will give me as much volatility and growth as possible. And if you've been following the videos through the years also, I've started to place a larger preference also on making a larger buffer, meaning stronger cash positions, so that when things get bad, I have this buffer also. Because here's one thing that I'd like to share to all of you. We can't really control the market, and we can't forecast how the market will be. We do not know how the market will be 5 years from now. We don't know how the market will be 10 years from now. But cash is still cash. Cash is still king. People would say that cash is trash. People would say that because of there's so many printing that has been going on, so much stimulus, that the value of it would be somehow diminished, which is true. However, I don't think cash, the dollar, the peso, or any fiat currency as of today would be out there. And for you to be able to buy stuff, for you to be able to transact, you still need peso, dollar, or all of those currencies. So even though it's not making money for me, even though it natutulog lang siya, I still keep a larger buffer of cash, because it's so important for me to have that peace of mind. And for those who are into business and investing, you do know that yung kita mo ng January, hindi siya pareho sa kita mo ng August. That's why it's nice to have that buffer, because if things are not so good in August, yung linagay mo nung January or yung inipon mo, it will allow you to have that peace of mind because you have that large buffer. And in my opinion, it was put to a test last year, that for those who were so optimistic that the party would last forever, that markets won't go down or business cycles won't go down, that money will just come in, and they didn't place a preference on saving and investing, sila yung natamaan. And I've seen it in a way that which is, of course, we don't want people's finances to get hit, but it's sad when people have been trying to sell their new businesses or the kiosks or the stores because they needed cash, or people have been selling properties, lands, because they also needed the cash. That's why it's so important that no matter how you approach each year, is you have a level of cash. So back to my story. So as years started to go by, I placed a level of preference in storing cash, then also buying investments that are giving me cash flow, meaning dividend-laden investments, either preferred shares or stocks that are giving me cash flow. That's why, if you've been noticing it, I've been making videos about dividends, because that's something over the past few years I've been stockpiling on, stocks that could give me cash flow brought about by dividends. And that's where your SPCs come in play, that's where your A-REIT comes in play, your PLDT, your Globe, your Meralco, because they may not be the high flyers. They still have appreciation. They also have volatility downward, but it can give you cash flow. It can give you something that you can already predict. And even at the time we're making this video, I think based on the projections of whatever dividends PLDT Globe A-REIT is giving out also for the year, it's still somewhere near the 4-5% range. And if you time it better, you time it and buying it at a lower price, you would still get a lower amount, or you would still get a higher dividend yield, even if you're coming into 2021. So that has been my narrative, and that has given me somehow no stability in a way that buffer cash flow from investments that are giving me specific returns. So again, it could also be from LTNCDs, other high yielding time deposits, which right now hindi na siya ganun kataas, then bonds. And yung advantage though, because I've been getting even bonds and preferred shares even prior to the pandemic. So there were rates at that time that were relatively high, that were very attractive, that gave me a return that up to where we are now is relatively good. Now, as I entered 2021, I started to assess also. Sabi ko, o nga no, there's still a portion of cash that I need to redeploy also. That's above and beyond already, on top of the buffer, on top of everything else that I need na cash that I started out. So I started in terms of being more aggressive this year. My stance has been more preference into cryptocurrencies, especially know that there's been a lot of attention towards Bitcoin, Ethereum, but I've been dabbling into it. Please do note that if you've been watching the videos, I've been talking about it a lot, but in terms of investing portfolio, it's not a very, very large part of my portfolio. There's one that I keep in a wallet, then via trading platform, then also via CFD. But when I say aggressive or conservative for 2021, I've been more conscious to deploy more into it. Maybe also because I've been speaking to a lot of people that are more developed in the cryptocurrency space than me, and they really believe that digital currencies are the future. And if you look at the staying power even of Bitcoin, Bitcoin has some sort of it's become a brand. And what do I mean by this? Think about it. When you say soft drinks, you say Coke. When you say conference call online, you say Zoom. Tara Zoom tayo, or buy a Coke. And that's what I think Bitcoin has become in terms of branding in the cryptocurrency space. Every time people would want to reference cryptos, it's somehow always either Bitcoin, something like that. And if you have developed and you have become at that particular level, I really believe that branding wise and attention, you've come a long way. And in terms of stability, I think that's somehow very, very good in the aspect of Bitcoin. So aggressive in a way that I've been placing more attention into that. Second is I've been talking about US stocks over and over, and I've been investing in US equities. I think US and Singapore equities, I think since 2013, 2014, around that period. But ngayon, it's really more intentional because it's I guess it's exciting also to be able to do it, especially via the eToro platform, where I could shift from selling from Bitcoin to US stocks and then vice versa. So I'm still investing and putting in fresh funds in the Philippine markets. I'm still putting it into either growth stocks, which will be part of a core portfolio, or either dividend stocks, which will give me cash flow, or something that could also be traded that's still there. But I think in terms of positioning, in terms of portfolio as a pie, or in terms of my money and investments as a pie, I'm thinking of putting more already, stockpiling more, and spending more of it in US markets. So I think that will be my technique, at least if you're asking me between being aggressive and conservative for the year. Expect more from me taking on more of those tech stocks as well. There's so many, from Square to PayPal. Then if you consider Tesla not as a car but as an electric vehicle company, then Uh, you could reference the larger brands also that I've been talking about, from Disney to Nike to Starbucks to McDonald's. So I think there's so much possibilities. Now, if you're asking me, will I be conservative this year? Not so much, because as long as I think I have my cash flow in place via my dividends, I think I should be okay. And as long as I also have my cash buffer also, I think I should also be okay. And I'm saying this from the realization that there were some businesses and investments that I went into in 2020 that, for example, we had one business that totally closed. We had another business that wasn't doing so well because it got impacted also by the tourism department. And until now, the operations are still there, but since not a lot of people are traveling, the airline industry is impacted. Revenues for that also are not as good. So that aspect. And then there are some also, because a lot of people are not entering into malls, and the items that we have there are pretty much sold in malls, that also got affected. Then also, I started investing into a startup, another startup, early 2020. However, when we invested into it, I think a month or so, that's when we started to lock down. So that investment, it's still there. I think it's a good investment. It's just that it's not moving as fast as what we want it to be, and that's part of it. But there are some investments naman also that have done well. And for those who are watching, alam niyo naman kung nag-stocks kayo ng 2020. 2020 was a banner year for Bitcoin, for the stock market. And if you'll slash the stock market into two, I think US stocks did better than Philippine stocks. So that's the arbitrage of that, no. So there still will be positions that I believe won't be, or asset classes that won't perform as much. But as long as my cash flow is intact and my buffer is intact, and then I start just positioning properly also, I think 2021 would be also as an amazing year as 2020. But if you're asking me, will I be conservative? Not really. I'll just be full throttle, double downing on assets that will still give me growth, because I know I'm positioning well for investments that will give me cash flow. So there, I just wanted to share that. This is just a bit of a raw video also, just trying if you guys like this also for the main channel. I know I did scenarios like this already for my second channel, but I just thought it's a weekend, it's a Sunday, that you guys might want to learn more of how I think, because above and beyond stocks by request, above and beyond the guests that we have, above and beyond me talking about investments, what I think is not talked about as much is I want to share the logic on how I do things, the strategy on how I perceive my finances, and how I allocate also. Because above and beyond me just investing, I think one key facet of what has allowed me to navigate investments well is I'm a planner. Before I even get into anything, I plan things well. But I don't just plan, I plan and I also execute. So if you guys like formats like this na parang kwentuhan lang, put it in the comment section below if you guys want more of it, and then I'll try to make more videos like this for you. But the same stocks by request sessions, we're still gonna do more of that. But I just want to experiment more also in the channel, just sharing bits and pieces of how I do things. And yeah, if you're new to this, if you guys want to know more about me, I have videos in the description below, books, and also courses that we have for you to grow in the knowledge of investing. Because I really believe that people said that 2020 was a bad year, but if you notice it also, there were sectors, those that pushed hard, those that worked hard, they were able to pivot, they were able to shift even if they got hit. And in my opinion, 2020 was an amazing year. If you got hit, 2021 should be the year for you to bounce back. 2021 should be the year for you to do better. 2021 should be the year for you to push higher, to do bigger and better and greater things, because your greatest days are always in front of you. Your best days are always in front of you. Never ever let what you see around you define how you live your life. I'll say that over and over because I know people need to hear this, that what's in you should be greater than what's outside of you. Never let the noise of other people's opinions define how you live your life, how you go about your money, how you go about your expenses, and how you go about your savings. Because at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your responsibility. So, happy Sunday, guys. I hope you like this format, and I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.